Hi, this is Tom Brady back again for lesson 4, selecting an area. If you already know what area you want to buy in, then you can skip this section. If you don't know what area you want to buy in, you need to be aware of a few things. When you buy the house, you're also buying the neighborhood, the community, the school district. You're buying a bundle of things. All right. I know back when I was in the NYPD, I commuted to Briarwood, which was pretty good. I also had to go to Brooklyn, which was horrible. So you definitely want to consider the commute time. Also, you want to go around to areas at different times of the day, different days of the week. I was showing some buyers a house in Kings Park. They loved it on a Wednesday evening. Then we tried to go back on a Saturday, and there was a little league ball field across the street, I think it was, and you couldn't even get down the block. It was so crowded, so that was a no-go for them. Also, I was talking to a builder in Nassau who built a new construction house across from a church, and it expired. So I was talking to him about listing it, and he said the reason that he was having trouble was because the church had some rehab meetings, and when he'd come Monday, he'd find all needles and drug paraphernalia on the lawn. He said everybody knew about that except him. So you want to go around neighborhoods different times, different days, if you're really serious about them. You don't want to waste your time on 20 neighborhoods, but once you narrow it down, you want to make sure, you also want to make sure the commute isn't really terrible at that time, because some areas get more congested than others. All right, days and times. School districts, you want to call the school district directly when you have a house that you're interested in to make sure that house is zoned for that school district if it's important to you. Some houses may seem to be in one district, but they're not. And the person best to verify that is the school district themselves. All right, you also want to check the school districts for what courses, policies they have so that they'll align with what you want, what your needs are. You can check school ratings on greatschools.org or niche.com. All right. Again, don't assume the school's in that district, or don't assume you're going to the elementary school down the block, because it might not be zoned that way. Long Island is kind of weird like that. Okay. You want to make sure if there's flood insurance on a property, ask your agent to verify there's no flood insurance required, or if you don't care about that, it's fine, but you want to try and get an insurance quote or see if the current owner's policy is assumable. Flood insurance can add a lot to it. You know, if the weather patterns keep emerging the way they are, flood insurance could be harder to get. So you want to take a look at that. All right, village taxes. You want to make sure if you're located in a village, what the taxes will be additional. Some people don't realize that you can have your property tax and you can have village tax on top of that, which can add a lot. All right, affordability. There's no sense looking in areas that you can't afford. So if I want a $400,000 house, I'm not going to look in $600,000 neighborhoods. It's just a waste of everybody's time. So you want to try and get an idea of what neighborhoods you'll be able to buy in that contain what you want. Do you want beach access? Do you want good commute? But you can definitely narrow it down fairly easily and try and get down to a few areas. And then when you get down to 3-4 areas, you can start seeing what's for sale in those areas. And you'll probably lean towards one or the other. If you can, try and go to the areas, go shopping, drive around, get a feel for the character of the area. All right, that's it for lesson 4, selecting an area. There's more information in the PDF. This is just kind of a recap after each PDF. Thank you, and I'll see you in lesson 5.